Hello everyone. In this video, we'll be creating roads, paths, and curbs. This tutorial is divided into two parts. In the first part, we'll focus on building roads, paths, and curbs. In the second part, we'll cover creating an angled curb, adding road markings, and designing road camber. Due to the length of the content, we've split it into two separate videos, Part 1 and Part 2. This is Part 1. To watch Part 2, please subscribe and check out the video on this channel. To create roads, I would first like to extend the Toposolid a bit further. I'll work in that area by double-clicking on the Toposolid. Then, I'll adjust and move this area slightly. Once done, I'll finish edit mode and return to the 3D model. I have an extended area in this Toposolid. First, I would like to draw the road boundaries. To do that, I'll go to Level 1, select the Toposolid, and then go to Subdivision. By clicking on Subdivision, I can create and draw the road boundaries. I'll select the Line tool and start drawing the road from here, continuing this way to this point. Next, I'll create a curve here and then extend the road directly to this area. Once done, I'll press Enter. After that, I would like to add a parking area in this section. I'll select the Line tool again, set the dimension to 3000, and connect it back to this point. Next, I'll use the Offset tool. To offset, select Offset, enter the offset value, and apply it to the lines. I'll set the offset amount to 2500 and offset the lines accordingly. In this area, since the curve is very sharp, I would like to create a smooth curve like this, making it larger compared to the original one. Then, I will trim and delete any unnecessary lines. Once the curve is created, I will close the start of the road. Next, I'll go to Subdivision to give the road a thickness of 5 centimeters. For the material, I will select asphalt bitumen. Once everything is selected, I'll click OK. Returning to the 3D model, I can see that the asphalt bitumen has been applied to the selected area. Now I would like to separate the road area from the rest of the Toposolid because asphalt bitumen is only a surface material on top of the Toposolid. What I want to do is split that area. To do this, I'll go back to Level 1, navigate to the Modify menu, and select the Split Element option. Next, I'll select the Toposolid and use the Pick Lines option to select the road perimeter lines. Once the road perimeter lines are selected, I'll click OK. In the pop-up menu, I'll choose Delete Instances. Returning to the 3D model, you can see that the road area has been successfully split from the rest of the Toposolid. I'll then select the asphalt bitumen and assign it a thickness of 5 centimeters. As you can see, the asphalt bitumen is now higher than the surrounding area. To fix this, I'll reduce the thickness of the Toposolid under the road area. I'll go to Edit, make a duplicate of the Toposolid, and name it Road. After clicking OK, I'll go to Edit Structure. Here, we have grass and earth layers. I'll delete the grass layer since that area is now covered by asphalt bitumen. And I'll add 100 to the earth layer, making it 1550. Finally, I'll click OK, apply the changes, and click OK again. Now we can see that the Toposolid under the road is slightly higher compared to the surrounding area. To fix this, I'll lower it. I'll select the Toposolid under the road, and in the Properties panel, I'll set the height offset to -100. As you can see, the road is now slightly lower than the surrounding area, which is exactly what I want since the road surface needs to be slightly lower. Using the same method, I can also create a path. For the path, I'll select the Toposolid, go to Subdivision, and create the path boundary using the Pick Lines option. Once the path boundary is created, I'll give it the same thickness as the road asphalt bitumen, which is 5 centimeters. Then I'll go to the Material section, select Asphalt Bitumen, and click OK. Back in the 3D model, we can see that the path has been created. Just like with the road, I will use the Split option to separate the path area from the rest of the Toposolid. To do this, I'll go to Level 1, select Split, and then choose the Toposolid. Using the Pick Lines option, I'll select the path boundaries to separate that area from the rest of the Toposolid. Once completed, I'll click OK. In the pop-up menu, I'll select Delete Instances. Now back in the 3D model, you can see that the area under the path has been split from the surrounding Toposolid. Next, I'll change the material thickness under the path. I'll duplicate the existing Toposolid, name it Path, and click OK. For the structure material, I'll remove the grass layer since it is now covered by asphalt bitumen, and I'll add 100 to the earth thickness, making it 1550. Finally, I'll click OK, apply the changes, and confirm with OK again. Now I would like to lower the path by setting the offset value to -50 to ensure the surface level is the same between the path and the surrounding area. As you can see, the asphalt and the surrounding areas are now at the same level. So far, we have created the road and the path. Next, I'm going to create the curb. There are 2 ways to create a curb. One is a simple curb without any angle, and the other is a curb with an angle. I will start with the curb without an angle. I'll go back to Level 1, select the Toposolid, and then return to Subdivision. I'll click on the Pick Lines option and select the road boundaries. Next, I'll offset these lines by 10 centimeters, 100 millimeters, which is a small offset. I'll also close the ends of the curb. Once the curb boundaries are created, I'll set the subdivision height to 300, then go to the Material section. I'll search for concrete, select it from the list, and click OK. If a pop-up menu appears saying that height lines currently intersect, I'll click Continue. In the areas where the lines intersect, I'll use the Trim tool to fix them, including the other corner. Now that there are no more intersections, I'll click OK. Back in the 3D model, I'll click outside the Toposolid, and the curb is now visible. However, if you look at the curb, it's currently on top of the Toposolid. Like the road and path, I will lower it slightly. To do this, I will use the Split option again. I'll go to Level 1, click on the Split option, and first select the Toposolid. Then, using the Pick Lines option, I'll select all the curb boundary lines. Once the curb lines are selected, I'll click Finish Edit Mode. In the pop-up menu, I'll select Delete Instances. Back in the 3D model, you can see that the curb area has been split from the rest of the Toposolid. Next, I'll select the Toposolid under the curb, click Edit Type, and duplicate it. I'll name the new type Curb. Click OK, delete the grass layer, and adjust the thickness of the remaining layers. Once everything is updated, I'll apply the changes and click OK. As you can see, the earth under the curb is slightly raised, so I'll lower it. First, I'll select the curb and set the offset value to -5 centimeters, which will bring the curb down slightly. However, I want to lower the curb a bit more, so I'll increase the negative offset to -150. Now the curb is positioned lower into the earth, but the thicker lower part is not ideal, so I'll reduce its thickness. To do this, I'll select the Toposolid under the curb, click Edit Type, go to Edit Structure, adjust its thickness, and then apply the changes by clicking OK. Similarly, for the Toposolid under the road area, which is also slightly raised, I'll select it, click Edit Type, and adjust the thickness. As you can see, both the curb and road are now at the same level. This is one method of creating a simple curb. If you look at the cross-section of this curb, I have a section view ready. I'll change its position, then double-click on the section to view the road cross-section, including the curbs. I'll adjust the scale to make the lines clearer. As you can see, there's the curb, which is slightly embedded in the earth, along with the asphalt bitumen and the earth beneath the road and surrounding areas. Now back to the 3D model. For the second type of curb, which has a slight angle, unlike the current curb that is straight, real roads often have curbs angled slightly towards the road. To create an angled curb, I'll first create a profile, load it into this model, and then generate the curb. I'll end this video here. The angled curb will be covered in the second part. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please subscribe now. Thank you.